Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. Lee, it feels like it's been forever since we talked. This Thursday night game's throw us into a little bit of a lull, I guess. I don't know. How you been?
I've been all right, bud. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I wish the Steelers were playing better lately, but that's not the case.
Yeah. So what can you do?
We're heading our way down the home stretch, I guess. Any last remarks you want to talk about this Patriot game at all, or any players that maybe we didn't highlight too much?
No, I mean just after that game, like we talked about last week, during that post game. I mean, any of these games, you just don't know. You can't even predict and say that they can win now. It's just you just don't know what's going to happen now.
They're still in the playoffs. The sixth seed at the moment, I believe. Yeah, so they're still in the playoffs. They played another 7-6 team this week with the Colts. So I guess there's that. There's that positive that maybe they can turn this around. Maybe get a little lucky and still find their way into the playoffs.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of talk this week is about the Steeler way. What may have happened to the Steelers. So I figured I'd go through and play a few clips for you and see how you're feeling about this. And we can have a bit longer discussion about the Steeler way. I'll start off with our guy, future Hall of Famer.
The Pittsburgh Steelers is done. Maybe it needs to be formed a new kind of way. I don't know. Like, who's grabbing someone by the face mask and being like,
Yeah,
that's not
what we do.
It's not what we do. Is that happening? You have guys on defense doing it, but you need guys on both sides of the ball doing it. You need someone to stand up in that room on offense and be like, "Hey, this isn't what it means to wear the black and gold."
So I mean, that's the first comment. It's from Ben. I think that's something we've all been talking about. We've all been discussing is the fact that it seems like. There's no leadership coming from anyone on the offensive side of the ball, and the people like to use the word the Steeler way. If there's anyone on the offense that seems to still have some of that to him, it might be Najee, and he had a response to Ben. We can play that real quick.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not trying to sit here and say he's right or wrong. I don't know how to answer that. Ben is a Hall of Famer. Ben obviously been here, won the Super Bowl. He knows what the standard is. Ben is somebody who's credible, who I got here his last year, so I can't really say like I know what the Steeler way is because he been here with Troy, he been here with Rome. He knows that really. So if somebody outside sees that and he been in this building, and I mean you kind of could guess and say like. Maybe he's right, but I don't know.
So that's Najee talking about it. I don't think this was his intent, but him mentioning that he was here for a year with Ben, but he still doesn't know what the Steeler way is exactly. I think that's kind of an indictment on Ben, right? Because he's the one who's supposed to be pushing this to the younger guys.
Exactly.
So that is one thing I got to push back on Ben for. Because if there is such thing as the Steeler way, you were on this team 2 years ago. There's some overlap with some of these guys, and if you're the one who didn't pass this down to these guys, if it's something that's supposed to be passed down from former players to current players and all that, and on top of that, I mean, if there's a Steeler way, I want to push back on the fact that they haven't won a playoff game since 2017.
Yeah.
With Ben there, with Ben being at that point, we're talking January of 2017, I believe, and I mean that's still in like an elite part of his career. The last time they won a Super Bowl, he was still on the team for many years after that before he started to fall off. So if we want to start taking shots about the Steeler way, I mean, I do have to wonder exactly what is the Steeler way that you see it for the offense? Because I'm going to get to the defense, but right now, offensively, what is the Steeler way offensively, if you had to put it into words?
You mean like right now, or just like in general?
Historic. When you think Steelers,
Historically,
the
I think
Steeler way.
when I think of the Steeler way, I think of running the ball down the opponent's throat. I think of like the bus and Deuce Staley back in the day, Willie Parker, just a great running team, a nice core of receivers that were out there blocking and making plays and getting the other players amped up. I mean, it's blue collar, it's rough, it's and it gets the job done. I mean, but lately, we haven't seen that. I mean, it's been more of a, from the past. Again, they had a great running game and is what we've seen, and a great core of receivers. But as of the past couple of years, we just have not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, so is that because the game has changed so much? Can you win like that now? Can you win with the blue collar offense where you're running the ball, pounding, and physicality? I think it's possible, sure.
I do too, yeah.
But I think now it's a lot harder for one to even find players that are willing to play that way. With the way college football is now, there's not many teams going in pro style offenses. There's a lot more spread. So can you build that still? And if you can, how do you go about finding guys that are good enough to play in the NFL and want to play that style of football?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. I mean, I agree. I think it could still be done, but the game has changed, like we've talked about over the past couple of years. I mean, it's tough. You have to find, like you said, you have to find players that are willing to actually participate and be a part of that type of offense, that you're trying to continue with. And we haven't seen that in a while. And it's like, again, these players come out of college, it's not what they want to do. Everybody wants to just be the star and nobody wants to be a team anymore, so it's tough. I think it could be done, but yeah, I mean, the Steelers do still have to adjust. I think they still have to adjust to how the game has changed.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up a good point about like resting on your laurels almost. And then here was Minkah talking a little bit about that. I think this was after last week's game, but he also had comments similar the week before. But I think this is.
We got to toil for it. I think too many people don't want to toil for it. They just want to walk out here and think that they're going to make plays and think that they're going to perform at a high level. I think we need to have more people that want to work for it and not expect it to be handed to them, because this is the NFL. Nothing's handed to you. You got to earn everything. And I think that, dudes just think that because they're wearing the black and gold that they're going to win games. And I think we need to check their mentality and make people realize that they got to earn that mentality, and they got to earn every single blade of grass and every single splash play and every single rep that they get out there. They got to earn it.
So yeah, I think that's the point we're trying to make here.
Yeah,
and I think he's talking about the whole team, and I think he's right, because even the defense, I don't. There's a couple of guys left over that the TJ, the Cam, the Minkah that everyone wants to talk about, but there's a lot of times where it's time to make that final stop. And this defense doesn't have that anymore. They don't have that like edge that you would like to see to finish off a team or get that one more stop you need. But yeah, what do you think about what he was saying there? I think he made some good points.
Yeah, I think he made some great points, and I think he's 100%. I mean, when you think of black and gold, you think of the Steelers, you think of a winning franchise. And I think I agree. I think a lot of these people, a lot of these players come to this team and they think just because, they're on the Steelers and they have this reputation of winning, and, 6 championships, 6 Super Bowls, all that. I mean, they think, okay, we're going to have a winning season. We're under Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season. He's going to still pull off a winning season. And I mean, but that's not what you should be striving for. You should be striving for making the big play. You want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, you gotta stand up and, like you said, stick out and be the one to actually make those last plays to stop the ball. But I don't think anybody is really doing anything. I agree with you. I think I agree with Najee. Maybe he still has some fight in him, and I think Jaylen Warren does too. I think he's another one that we could look at that might have some fight. I you know, a lot of these players are frustrated, but yeah, you know, they put on the uniform. They think that, you know, you're just going to win as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, look at all these other teams that are coming up and, you know, winning. You know, we're not keeping up with them anymore. You know, the Steelers used to be one of the top teams in the AFC, and now we're mid to lower, you know, level team now, you know. So I think they need to, like, I agree with him. I think they need to get back to, you know, gaining and wanting that mentality to win, and not just think that they're going to win, you know, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I mean, even with the fact that they've had winning records throughout the last few years of Tomlin, I don't think anyone's been afraid to face the Steelers in a long
No,
while.
not at all.
Playoffs. If they make it in this year, I'm sure any team that they play will be excited to get that matchup against the Steelers.
Yeah.
Hey, let's live in the bubble of Tomlin's not going anywhere. What changes can be made to bring us back to that mentality, do you think?
I mean, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like if you're down this path, it's hard to turn around, I think.
Yeah.
And we all know Tomlin's a great coach. We all know that as soon as he leaves the Steelers, he's going to find a job as quickly as he wants it. So the question is he burnout in the city of Pittsburgh? Is his message being overlooked now? Are you still like on the Tomlin train? How are you feeling right now?
I'm up in the air with him. I just don't know. I mean, I think he needs to change whatever his standard is. The standard is. I mean, you need to get in some players that really want to play and win a championship. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys, these younger guys that are so frustrated and think that, you know, just because it's not going their way, you know, that's not how it's going to be. I mean, go do somewhere, go work at a, you know, somewhere else, not in football. Go play for another team, you know, go do something else. You know, Deontay Johnson, you want to do some stupid stuff, go somewhere. You want to cry and complain, go somewhere else. I think, like Mika said, I think, you know, a lot of these guys just, they think it's, you know, that's the Steeler way when it's not. I think that Mike Tomlin needs to get some guys in there that really want to play. Got to find some really good coordinators, because if he's going to stay, you know, the fans are going to be happy because people are already calling for his job. I think he needs to get some people in there that are really willing to want to win. I think he needs to get some players in there that are really wanting to win. And I think they need to do a whole re-evaluation of themselves, because if they don't want to be there, they need to go, because right now, this is not a team that wants to win. This is just a team that's out there trying to make a paycheck right now. That's it.
Yeah, they need to get if they want changes. The one thing I can see is they need their great players on offense to be their leaders. And right now, they're great players. I mean, first of all, there's not that many great players, and then the people that like the national media may see as great players, as like Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, they just don't have leadership qualities. A guy that seems like he's a veteran and wants to be a leader is Mason Cole, but on the field he's been complete garbage for weeks on end now. I mean, he can't even snap a ball in shotgun at this point. I don't know if he's in his head over that or what. Even Najee's been playing well, but it's not like he's an elite. You can't call him an elite running back at the moment. But, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to make any changes to the running back room at the moment. But maybe they're going to do some kind of reshuffling of the receiving core to bring in someone who might have some more of like a leadership mentality to them that also is still good. Like, I don't know much about Allen Robinson. He might be a good leader, but if he's not performing once again, it's like, well, who's going to be listening to him? It doesn't look like anyone's listening to any leadership right now. And I think part of it is there's not any like elite players on that offense to speak to get leadership.
I even think like an older veteran quarterback might even help. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody that has won in the past and been on a team that really has that mentality wanting to win. Maybe he can spark something and spread some wisdom around, you know, as well. I mean, I agree. I don't think the running back, I think they're good.
Yeah.
They're still a little younger, and, you know, they're not elite like we want them. But yeah, I agree. The wide receivers, they're not stepping up. I don't think some of the O-line stepping up. And, you know, I just don't see none of the quarterbacks are stepping up, you know. So somebody has to, or, you know, this team's just going downhill.
Yeah, like I think Kenny can have the qualities of a leader, but the problem is you have to play well
Yeah.
as a quarterback. And if he's playing the way he's been playing, it's just tough to see a team rallying behind him. Like Mitch, I don't have the video here, but Najee's comments about Mitch, I think it was before the game, it may have been after the Patriot game, just showed that he has no faith in him as a leader. It was pretty demoralizing to see. Kind of was a bad look for Najee on my part, but I mean, he was just being honest. I think he's a little frustrated with the way the season's going. But I mean, if you look out there, like name would be like Kirk Cousins is like the big one that you can get, I guess. But other than him, who else is really out there that would fill that void quarterback wise? I don't think there's any name that we can bank on, really.
I mean, the only other one that I could think of, and I don't know if he's going to be released anytime soon, but would be like a Matthew Stafford. You know what I mean? It'd be like the other only one.
Yeah, maybe if they're looking to get some draft capital back, but I mean, what's he going to be? I mean, we don't. I would hope it would only be like a mid-round pick. Yeah, I guess that's a decent name too. I guess you could say.
But he's like the only other older vet that I could think of.
Yeah.
You know that you could maybe bring in.
So yeah, and we'll see how that happens. Like you also brought up coordinators. I think they have to hit a home run with this offensive coordinator. It has to be someone who knows the way the game's going at this point. Hopefully he like looks to the outside. He doesn't promote no, I guess it wouldn't be promote at this point, but make it official with Faulkner or Sullivan. And because I think we've seen the last couple games that they don't have what it takes either.
Yeah, no.
I mean, but they're in a tough spot. I mean, the Canada, his playbook is still in place. You can't change a playbook in the middle of the season. You can't change your scheme in the middle of the season. But like some of the pitches that we keep doing, we're putting usually it's Robinson in motion. Everyone knows it's coming when you're pushing your receiver in motion to set up as a lead blocker on a pitch. I don't understand what you're trying there. Everyone knows it's coming. They did it 4 times, I think, last game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it
just
doesn't work. Yeah,
and that's something like even if the playbook stinks, if you know what you're doing as a play caller, you're not going to run that play 4 times. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this: like, how do you even feel about the defensive coordinator? I'm a little up in the air with him. I just don't know if he's the guy either.
I think there's a good argument that they stuck with the wrong guy between Flores and Austin, but I mean it's tough at the same time to like fire a guy for someone that you had as like a defensive assistant. But Flores is playing pretty. He's in Minnesota. He has that defense playing pretty well, and I mean he's had a history with Belichick. I mean he probably would have been the better guy to keep between the two, but at the same time it's a bad look to fire someone like Terrell Austin in that situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know everything, and if there's something that Tomlin sees that like is going wrong on that defensive side that he thinks that changes to be made, let's do it. But it's a tougher situation for me. But I mean, there has to be better production on the defensive side of the ball. That 21 points in the first half to that Patriot team's inexcusable.
I think that maybe I'm not saying maybe you got to get rid of the guy, but maybe bring somebody in as an assistant, another assistant to kind of help, just something because
something similar with Flores.
Because the defense just I don't know, they've seemed to digress over the past few weeks, and not seeing what we really want to see. That's not Pittsburgh defense either. That's it's just all around.
It is. We should make note of the fact that the linebacking situation is hell right now for them. I mean, they've lost so many guys
injuries.
in the middle.
Yeah.
And then it seems like anytime someone's starting to get like a more structured role, maybe as the play caller with the green dot on the back of their helmet, they seem to be going out. And I think it was going to be Minka for a little bit last week that was going to end up having the dot on his helmet to make the calls on defense. But someone
But
So Mike,
but that is the other thing. That is the other thing.
Uh-huh.
Injuries have also contributed to how the season has gone as well. I mean, and how the play has been going for defense. You know, like we said, it hasn't been too much offensively, but it has been a lot of defensive players injured. So there's a lot going on with that as well.
yeah, I mean, but we got 4 games left. Guess we can segue over to looking at the schedule here. We have these 4 games left on the schedule. It's the Colts this week, and then Bengals at home, and then 2 road games, Seahawks and Ravens on the road to finish out the year. So 3 out of the last 4 games on the road for a team who's been in the midst of a real struggle.
Yeah.
So I'm done pretending that we should give this team any credit. I'm going 1-3 as my prediction on this stretch. I don't know exactly. I think the win. I do. It's crazy, but I think of these 4, this week's probably the best chance of winning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll probably go 1-3 with the Colts as being that win, and then we'll lose the final 3. The Bengals seem to have found an answer at backup QB, Jake Browning.
I agree with you. I think they'll go 1-3 as well. I agree. I think the Colts are the easiest one. The Bengals, they have something going. The Seahawks, you know, they're hit or miss. You never know. But I mean, they even gave the Cowboys fits and almost beat the Cowboys. And the Ravens have been playing so well this season. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, they could easily go 0-4, to be honest. I mean, you just from losing those 2 games to the Cardinals and Patriots back to back like that, and this team could go 0-4. But I agree. I think 1-3 is going to be my prediction as well, and I agree as well. I think it might be the Colts should be the easiest one, but being on the road is going to be tough. You know, you just I don't know what the record is on the road this season.
Yeah, I can look it up real quick as you're talking.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that this definitely going to be a final stretch. These last 4 games are going to be are going to be tough for the Steelers. With the Colts being 7-6, and a lot of the playoff teams that are in the hunt still, and the last couple wild card spots are all 7-6, I believe. It's just going to be it's going to come down to the wire. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are 3-2 away from home right now.
Okay.
But they're a completely different team than they were earlier in the season, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's tough to get positive. It's tough to bring positive thoughts to your head right now. This week, I guess let's focus a little more on this week in general. We got the Colts. They are poor against the run, which I guess is a good thing with the Steelers. If they want to have some success, I think they can have it on the in the run game. They got to give Najee and Warren as many carries as possible. Even if you get down early, like they did last week, I still think we should be running the ball. There's enough time, and I mean, our best chance at an explosive play at this point, I think, is with the run game with Warren.
Yeah.
I mean, Najee's got 7 20-yard carries on the season, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So,
I think those 2 can have a good game here, a good game this week. But what are you thinking for this week specifically?
Yeah. I think I think should be a good running game. I think Gardner Minshew's going to be probably the better quarterback on the field that day. Because I think I saw that, which is insane. Exactly. Yeah. And I think I saw that Mike Tomlin already picked Trubisky to be the starter for this game Saturday. So, I mean, it should be a decent game. I mean, they're going to be playing in Indianapolis in the dome, no weather, so perfect field conditions, but you just never know what's going to happen with this team, who's going to show up and how they're going to play. It is disappointing to see how things have gone with this team. It should be the easiest. But again, the Colts, they just beat the Titans last week in overtime. So, it's going to be tough. I mean, we almost lost the Titans. So you just don't know how this game's gonna go. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I did see that TJ Watt was a full participant today at practice, but I figured maybe we should talk about that for a little bit. I think that's a little controversy going on. The fact that he went back into that game after this hit here on his face, his head,
then watch him follow through with that knee
right to the face. This is a better look over here.
Where it hits him, maybe even into the face,
right
actually.
To the chin, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he went to the tent and then he came back in, but he came back in with a tinted face mask on, which it's like there's only one reason that would be tinted, and that's because he's having issues with the lighting, which is a symptom of a concussion. So the question is, why was he back out there? And here's Tomlin talking about it a little bit.
Okay.
I'm managing the game. I leave that to the medical experts. They essentially tell me whether someone is out, whether they're subject to return, or whether they're back. I got a report that he was subject to return, and then I got a report that he was back, and that was just, my knowledge of the details of what transpired with him during the time that he was out in game.
I guess it's possible that Tomlin's speaking truthfully there. I have no reason to think he's lying. I guess is a better way to put it. But I think it's one of those situations where Watt probably took advantage of the NFL's. He's supposed to be an independent medical examiner, but I mean, why is he putting a tinted helmet, tinted face mask? Or visor on? So and then the following day, Friday morning, he did come and enter the concussion protocol. So I don't know if the league. I think the league might be investigating, but it might be something where they always investigate in these situations. So I don't know if any ramifications will come from that, but it's still something to look into and question what's going on with that situation for sure.
Yeah, because right now it seems like the league's priority is player safety, regardless of what's going on with the injury, and especially when it comes to concussions. I mean, that's their policy right now, and I initially thought it was just like a maybe a jaw issue or a tooth issue. Maybe he had chipped something, but I didn't realize it was a concussion at that point. But whoever made that call, I mean, you want to think and say that, they made the right call, saying that they knew what they were doing because they're the professionals there. But I don't know, maybe somebody dropped the ball and just let it happen. I don't know if maybe TJ was told one thing and said, screw it, I'm going back out there anyway. I mean, I think a lot of those players do that anyway, so I don't know.
But that's the point, though. It's supposed to be an independent medical professional there who's supposed to protect the player from themselves. So it is confusing that happened. There's been was it Tua last year? They got put back in the game.
Yeah.
And then came back. I think it was 2 weeks in a row. He ended up getting banged pretty hard in the head.
Yeah.
Kenny had some issue last year too, right?
Yeah.
Where he came back a little earlier than expected, got a second concussion real quick. So I guess it's something to look at. Maybe it'll be nothing, but and it looks like TJ is going to be back out there this week. Already a full participant on Wednesday. So with him back out there, we're playing on Saturday, 4:30 game. I don't know if you saw that. It's for everyone out there to know, 4:30 on the NFL Network. Locally, it's on KDKA. If you're wondering. But I guess throw out a prediction for me, Lee. What are you thinking is going to happen this week?
With the way these past couple games have gone with the Steelers, I was kind of shocked that they hit the over in that Patriots game like that. I want to say it's going to be a good game. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game. I think we're going to have a final score, of 17-14 Steelers over the Colts.
So I think throughout this whole process we've been doing since we started these podcasts, there has not been a single prediction that the Steelers will lose a game. on our little predictions at the end here. I think it's gonna be one more week. I'm gonna give them one more week of
Yeah.
Steelers winners. I'm gonna go 20-14 as a final. MVP for me. Let's go Warren. I'm gonna pick Warren or Harris. I'll go Warren. He'll have I'll say he has a good run, maybe a 40-yard TD or something like that, something nice. I'll go Warren as my MVP for the game.
I'm gonna pick Freiermuth for the offense.
There we go. I like it.
And I'm gonna go with Minka for the defense.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he can get a game with the way he's been talking lately.
Yeah.
Defensively, maybe Porter will get an interception. I'll go Porter with an interception this week.
Yeah.
My little prediction. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up there for this weekly. It was nice talking to you.
Good talking with you too. Yeah, I'll be talking with you post game Saturday after the game.
Be there probably around what do you think, 9 o'clock or so? I guess we'll go live.
Probably around 9. Yeah, probably around 9.
Depending on the end of the game. But I'll see you. Have a good week.
Sounds good. You
Rest
too.
of the
Have
week.
a good one.
See you Saturday.
Sounds good. See ya.